Hi, everybody. It's Mark Rushton at markrushtongallery.com. It's Thursday, August 17th, 2023, and I'm going to be doing some live art painting. And yes, kids, this is painting. So let's print out tonight's painting, right? Let's see if will it print it out for me? Let's take a look. Is it printing? It's printing. Oh, what's going on here? I turned the printer upside down so we can see it. Can you hear that? It sounds like 8-bit music. And it looks like 8-bit art, right? This is what I'm gonna paint this tonight. And I'll talk about it here in just a second once it's done spitting it out. I'll talk about all this sort of craziness here that I'm doing. There you go. Look at that. There's my pulley print. A4. How do I shut this thing off? Hold it down for 3 seconds. That makes a little noise, and there you go. Pulley print. I love it. So this is my third pulley printer. This is like my first one. These are like $50. And then this is my second. These both print on thermal paper. But this fella right here, which I just recently bought, prints with a thermal ribbon. And that's great for me because I like to print on a substrate called spun bonded olefin, which is a synthetic paper. And so you can't heat it up. I can't run this through like a conventional toner printer or anything like that because it'll just melt it. But the great thing about thermal printing is that first of all, it prints out in this great lo-fi thing here, and I'll explain that in a second here. But it just uses a ribbon. It's like a 1990s fax machine technology. Pretty amazing. And so this is a photo that I took of a statue in a graveyard, and I rendered it in the Pulley software to like a line drawing, or just this sort of kind of lo-fi, extremely low resolution type of thing. And then I cut the paper down to A4 size, which was normally 8.5 by 11. Printed it off there as you saw it, and so we're gonna paint it. We're gonna paint it here. And so this is last night's. This was like my first attempt at it, and I've been painting on Tyvek for 30 years, but to make something this big, print it off, kind of ink it up there, that's pretty cool. And that's the Big Ears statue. This is in the sculpture park in downtown Des Moines. Love that thinking rabbit. That's pretty cool. So I'll get this in the Mark Rushton Gallery art store here soon. Links are in the description. Kind of cool, huh? Look how big these are. I'm not used to working this big. I'm used to working. This is about how big I'm used to working, and that's thermal printed paper. And then I work even smaller here. Well, we don't need to go into that here. So, all right, let's just get this. People have been coming and going here. That's fine. That's the great thing about live stream. You can like show up and hang out, or like, oh, this isn't what I want to watch. That's fine. On to the next thing. Not a big deal. But if you're interested, I have a mailing list out on Substack, and link is in the description. And send out an email about every week or so. The gallery is out at markrushtongallery.com. You can have more and more of this stuff at extremely reasonable prices. Before I get started here, this evening's beverage is, as always, Kelowna Supernatural 100% organic vanilla kefir. It's got the probiotics in it. It's made with the grass-fed Amish and Mennonite cow milk. That I love that. That's great. All right, on to the next thing here. So this will be cropped to a certain extent. And again, I've got to swing over to like Hobby Lobby or Michael's and get a somewhat larger. That's not going to work. That's an 8x10. So I need to find something. So this is a 6x9. So if I get a pre-cut mat for 6x9, I think it'll handle it pretty well. That'll be the size that I'll be operating in now, a little bit larger. And then the other thing I'm going to do is these will be scanned and made available for larger prints in the Mark Rushton gallery. So let's get started. Let's get started here. The background has got to be ultramarine. So we'll throw a little bit in there. Let that happen. And it'll be cropped. It'll be cropped. It's all right. Maybe not ultramarine. Let's go with process. Looks a little velvety, you know. Let's go with the. That's not painting. You're just rubbing ink all over the thing. Well, yeah. That's what I do. Get that lo-fi goodness, you know. Love those graveyards, man. They're really pretty good places for finding taking photos and things like that. So yeah, this is a photo I took and kind of rendering it down to lo-fi status. No comments so far. Feel free to comment. I can take it. You know, if you're an artist and you're out on the internet and you're making whatever, people are going to say whatever. That's fine. Not a big deal. I think if I throw a little bit of this down, let's see what that turns into. I think we get a little kind of a greenish. That's good. I like that. Get that, combining it on there. And another thing I love about working on this spun bonded olefin, this synthetic paper here, is that it just takes it. It can take all sorts of abuse, and it's not going to rip up like thermal pen, or it'll get all bubbly and rip up and everything like that. And even watercolor paper, you got to be careful. Even the thick stuff, you can get a little too soaked. And again, I'm not looking for perfection here. I'm trying to. Maybe I didn't want that to go up that high, but well, it's going up that high now. Put a little blue up there. What are we going to do down below? Trouble is, this is so dark that you're almost like, let's try this. The azo yellow goes on orange, turns slightly yellowish when you move. Well, not now. Well, that's kind of yellowish. And I want a little bit over the edge here, you know, like I want these edges to kind of have a little something to them, you know, like this. You know, maybe let's just make this whole thing yellow here. That might be kind of cool. Again, goes on orange, ends up yellow. What's not to love? It's like magic. It's like alchemy, right? It's almost like alchemy. What about the face? The face. We'll just kind of. Too much blue in there. And we can throw in a little bit of, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. That is crazy. I'm throwing a little sepia here on the arms. Kind of, or the clothing. Clothing will be sepia. This is burnt umber. That's too dark. I got a ton of sepia in here. There's the sepia. I'm going to put sepia on the. Pour it on there. Well, that one's not. Oh, that one's about out. All right, we'll do that. That's cool. So throw a little sepia here on the clothing. Kind of differentiate it from the arm a little bit, maybe. Kind of. That's not painting. Yes, it's painting. You're inking. Well, the ink has acrylic polymer emulsion in it, so maybe a little bit of burnt umber. Maybe a little bit of burnt umber in there. It's not going to be too dark, right? Right. I'll just use this. Oh, that's a little dark. That's all right. A little bit. Oh, I kind of like how that came out. Oh, yeah. Is this supposed to be an arm? It's stone. What can I say? Wow, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to get some like well, maybe not like a flesh colored, but maybe. Oh, you know what? Got this white here. This white's kind of crazy. Wow, there's 4 people watching. I can't believe it. Let's work on this hand here a little bit. Because this white here. So I get this white at, where'd I get this at? I think it was at Michael's. I don't think that's going to work out. We're going to have to go back and throw a little bit of this on here and kind of get that back to. Sepia? No, I used this on here. We'll throw a little bit more on. You moron. There we go. A little bit on the face. This is crazy. Crazy. Now, okay. Let's say I threw a little bit of this on here. I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit there. And then we get kind of a, oh yeah, look at that. Oh, hey, I like that. I like that a lot, man. Kind of foggy, misty, Whoa. All right. We'll crop that off there. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I do like this being dark, but man, I love that contrast. So put a little bit over here, and then we're just going to work this in. Got to work fast because, man, that fog lifts, you know. Look at that. That's crazy. You know what I was thinking? You know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking. I think down here, we'll go with a little bit of the flame orange. Yeah? A little bit of blocking contrast down here. That's crazy. Let me get up here. Fix that. That's bleeding edge there. That's bleeding edge. Maybe I want that to go down a little bit further. I'm just experimenting here, you know. All right, that was kind of cool. All right, so we're just gonna drop a little bit. I love that little eyedropper, man. That is that color around there. And then kind of, yeah. Whoa. Man, I can't believe how this has turned. This turned out pretty cool. Look at that. Got that little. So sometimes it does that with the ink on the spun bonded olefin. It does this little kind of weird blocky thing. I don't mean the texture. I don't mean like the I mean it's just like this. I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty crazy. Okay, let's get in a little bit further here. I know it's creepy. It's a statue, you know, in a cemetery. It's meant to signify a dead child, dead toddler, or whatever. But I guess it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, it could be sort of like it could be like it could be an old photograph, you know, something from a long, long time ago, and I'm wondering if I should work that a little bit. This is kind of weird, but I don't think there's anything I can really do about that. You know, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with it because I do kind of like that, how that's shiny, and then you get it's like you got a light source here, you got a light source here, and then you have a light source, of course, on the head. And then everything's just a little bizarre, you know? I don't know. I knocked that out in less than 20 minutes. It's not the love. Huh? Well, these are fun. These are fun. It, you know, and art is meant to be fun. You're supposed to have fun making these things. So I'm absolutely thrilled with how this is going. And I'm just going to continue to take pictures and upload things and see where this goes. And I'm going to try to, Once this dries, I'll figure out a way to get it into the Mark Rushton gallery. Figure out a way to package it so that it's at least available in a what do they call that? Pre-cut mat. Get a pre-cut mat on it. That'd be cool. And offer it for just an extremely reasonable price. The original. And then, whoever buys it they can deal with framing. They can buy a frame at their shop and it'll be in a conventional size. And you want to put a nice frame on it? You put a nice frame on it. You want to go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or someplace like that, someplace that sells a 9x12 frame, you should be able to do that too. We'll see where this takes me. I like where this is going. I love Big Ears from yesterday, and I like this one too. This is interesting and, a little creepy, but hey, we're not far away from Halloween season. Enough rambling. Mark Rushton, MarkRushtonGallery.com. Talk to you later.